Okay, so welcome to another free live class on APSC CCE Prelims. So, let me take you guys through some of the important questions which have been asked by UPSC in the past years. Okay, so let's try to solve some of the questions. So, see, let's start with question number 4. I mean, as you can see in the PDF slide, who among the following laid the foundation of the Rashtrakuta Empire? Okay, Rashtrakuta Empire. This is actually part. Okay, Rashtrakuta Empire. This is a part of the post-Gupta period. This is a part of the post-Gupta period. And the options are Amogha Varsha the first, Dante Durga, Dhruva, and Krishna the first. So the founder of the Rashtrakuta Empire was Dante Durga. Founder of the Rashtrakuta Empire was Dante Durga. Okay, Amogha Varsha is also a very important character. Amogha Varsha is important because Amogha Varsha is basically important for a work of he is important because he composed he a work of literature is attributed to Amogha Varsha. And the name of that work is Kavi Raja Marg. Okay, Kavi Raja Marg is attributed to Amogha Varsha, and Amogha Varsha is also a Rashtrakuta king, but he was not a founder. Another very important king, Krishna the First. Krishna the First is important because Krishna the First you know, he constructed something which is known as the pinnacle of rock cut architecture in India. That is the Kailashnath temple, and Kailashnath temple is present in the Ellora caves. But he was also not the founder of Rashtrakuta Empire. So the correct answer in this case would be Dante Durg. And Dante Durg, he was the one who laid the foundation of the Rashtrakuta Empire. Okay, now let's go to the next question, which was asked in the year 2003. Now, here they have given you two statements. The statement number one, the Cholas defeated Pandya and Chera rulers and established their domination over peninsular India in the early medieval times. That is statement number one. The Cholas defeated the Pandya and the Chera rulers and established their domination over peninsular India in the early medieval times. And the second statement is the Cholas they sent an expedition against the Shailendra Empire of Southeast Asia and conquered some of the areas. Now, the right option in this case is it has to be option number C. Okay, because both the statements are correct. It's a fact that Cholas defeated Pandya and Chera rulers and established their domination over peninsular India in the early medieval times. Okay, that is also correct. And the fact that they were able to send an expedition against the Sailendra Empire of Southeast Asia and conquered some of the areas is also correct because of this, because they were able to control certain overseas territories. And the Cholas, you will be amazed to know that they also said to have they are you know they also had controlled the Cholas. They're also said to have controlled a part of Sri Lanka. A part of modern day Sri Lanka was under their control for a considerable amount of time, and because of which the Cholas were also known as Imperial Cholas. Okay, Imperial Cholas. So, as far as this question is concerned, both the statements are correct. So, the correct option in this case would be C, that is both 1 and 2. Okay, now, see, I mean, as you can see here they have explained also, here you can find explanation also. Cholas, it is situated to the northeast of the territory of the Pandyas. Like I said, okay, the capital of the Pandyas used to be Madurai. Okay, Madurai, if you look at the Indian map, you can see a place by the name of Madurai. Madurai, culturally speaking, it's a very famous place because in Madurai, you will also, the temple, one of the most, a very famous temple is located in Madurai, and the name of that temple is Madurai Temple. The name of the temple is Meenakshi Temple, okay, and the entire name is Meenakshi Sundareshwar Temple. Okay, basically Meenakshi Sundareshwar means that this temple has been dedicated to Lord Parvati, Goddess Parvati, and Lord Shiva. So Madurai is a place which is religiously very important, and it has also been politically important. Okay, it has also been politically important since a long, long time. And politically, it has been historically important because Madurai used to be the capital of the Pandyas. Okay, Madurai, it used to be the capital of the Pandyas, and Pandyas have played a major role in the history of South India. Even during this Pandya kingdom, they have played a major role in the history of South India. Even in the beginning of the, in the beginning of the, let's say, uh, even around the first and second century AD, even during that time, the Pandyas played a major role in Indo, they played a major role in the trade which was happening between India and Roman Empire. That is, they were a major player in the Indo-Roman trade that was happening in the first and second century AD. Okay, so Pandyas, as we see and as we can see, they have played a major role in the history of South India. Okay, now Cholas also see Cholas as far as Cholas are concerned, they can be divided into two phases, you can say. Early Cholas and the medieval Cholas. So when we talk about early Cholas, we get to hear of certain places like Pompuhar, Urayur, and Thiruvarur. These are the places which get associated with the early Cholas. And when I say early Cholas also find a mention. Early Cholas also find a mention in one of the inscriptions of Ashoka. Okay, in one of his inscriptions, Ashoka talks about four South Indian kingdoms. He basically talks about four South Indian kingdoms. Out of those four South Indian kingdoms, three have been recognized, one has not been recognized till now. And the three South Indian kingdoms which have been recognized are Cholas, Pandyas, and Cheras. Okay, and the Chola Empire, which Ashoka talked about, will be an example of the early Cholas. Then, medieval Chola is the time period when we get to see, when we get to see or when we get to hear of places like, for example, Thanjavur, Gangai Chonda, Cholapuram, and Pazaiyarai. Thanjavur used to be the capital of the medieval Cholas. Thanjavur, it used to be the capital of the uh, medieval Cholas. In the Indian map, the other word which has been used for Thanjavur is Tanjore. Okay, it is also known as Tanjore. And Gangaikonda Cholapuram. Gangaikonda Cholapuram has its own history. Okay, Gangaikonda Cholapuram, it was a city which was founded by the son. It was a city which was founded by the son of Raja Raja Chola. Okay, Raja Raja Chola was one of the most important kings of the medieval Chola dynasty, and the Raja Raja Chola was the same person who constructed the Brihadeshwara temple, which is also known as Raja Rajeshwara temple. And his son's name was Rajendra Chola. And Rajendra Chola, he constructed a city by the name of Gangai Konda Cholapuram. He constructed a city by the name of Gangai Konda Cholapuram after defeating an eastern power. Okay, so as the name suggests, Gangai Konda, one who conquers the Ganga. Okay, he came back after defeating that eastern power and he established this city by the name of Gangai Konda Cholapuram. Okay, so I mean, as you can see here, by the end of the 9th century, that's the period we are talking about. The Cholas, they had defeated both the Pallavas of Kanchi and weakened the Pandyas, okay, bringing the southern Tamil country under their control. There was another power by the name of Pallavas, and Kanchipuram used to be the capital. Okay, Kanchi or Kanchipuram used to be their capital, and by the end of the 9th century, Cholas had defeated the Pallavas also. I mean, as you can see here, age of Raja Raja and Rajendra the First. Raja Raja was the most important king, and he was succeeded by his son Raja Rajendra Chola. Okay. Now, see, this question has been asked in 2001. Which one of the Chola kings conquered Ceylon? Like I said, they were known as Imperial Cholas because they captured a part of the Shailendra Empire. I mean, they had overseas territories in both Southeast Asia as well as Ceylon. Ceylon means modern day Sri Lanka. So, which one of the Chola kings conquered Ceylon? The correct answer in this case will be Raja Raja the First. Raja Raja the First conquers Ceylon or Sri Lanka. Actually, uh, many historians say, he did not conquer the entire Sri Lanka, but the major part of modern day Sri Lanka was under the control of the Cholas. And anyway, if you look at the Indian map, Sri Lanka is not very far from Tamil Nadu. And since they were rulers, they were ruling from Thanjavur. Okay, Thanjavur used to be the capital, and Thanjavur is in Tamil Nadu, so it makes sense also. Okay, now see, the initial design and construction of which massive temple. the initial design and construction of which massive temple took place during the reign of Suryavarman II. It was asked in the year 2006, and the options are Sri Mariamman Temple, okay, Sri Mariamman Temple, Angkor Wat, okay, Batu Caves Temple, and Kamakhya Temple. See, now it's a very interesting question, and the correct answer in this case would be the Angkor Wat Temple. And where is the Angkor Wat Temple located? Angkor Wat Temple, you will be amazed to know that it is not in India. Angkor Wat Temple is a temple which is not located in India. It is located in Cambodia, and it is a temple dedicated to Lord Vishnu, and it is the largest Hindu temple. It is the largest Hindu temple in the world. Okay, Angkor Wat. It is the largest Hindu temple in the world, the temple of Angkor Wat. Now, let's talk about the next question. I mean, and before going to the next question, I mean, as you can find in this explanation has been given here that Suryavarman II, okay, he was a Khmer king of the Khmer Empire, and he was the builder of Angkor Wat, the largest religious monument in the world, which has been dedicated to Hindu god Vishnu. Okay, his reign's monumental architecture, numerous military campaigns, and restoration of strong government have had led historians to rank Suryavarman as one of the empire's greatest king. Okay, now let's talk about the let's take the next question, which was asked in 2006. So here again they have given two statements. The Ikshvaku rulers of southern India were antagonistic towards Buddhism. Okay, what is the meaning of antagonistic? They were totally against Buddhism. And the Pala rulers of eastern India were patrons of Buddhism. Okay, the Pala rulers of eastern India were patrons of Buddhism. Now, which of the statements given above are correct? Okay, which of the statements given above are correct? See, the Ikshvaku rulers, okay, the Ikshvaku rulers of southern India, the Ikshvaku rulers of southern India were antagonistic towards Buddhism. Now, the Ikshvaku rulers of southern India, they were not antagonistic towards Buddhism. They were not antagonistic. See, the word antagonistic is it's a very heavy word. It's like an accusation. So they were not antagonistic towards Buddhism. But as far as the Pala rulers of Eastern India are concerned, the Pala rulers of Eastern India, they were big patrons of Buddhism. They were big patrons of Buddhism, and the kind of Buddhism which was promoted by the Pala rulers of Bengal, because that's the area where they rule from, Bengal. The kind of Buddhism which they promoted was the Vajrayana form of Buddhism, Vajrayana. So it is for sure that the Pala rulers of Eastern India were patrons of Buddhism. So the correct answer in this case would be option number B. That is two only. Okay. Now, I mean, if we talk about the explanation, see, Ikshvaku dynasty. It was a dynasty founded by the legendary King Ikshvaku. Lord Rama belonged to the Ikshvaku dynasty. I mean, according to the Puranas. And 22 out of the 22 four Tirthankaras belong to this dynasty. And according to the Buddhist text, okay, according to the Buddhist text, Prince Siddharth also belonged to this particular dynasty. And Pala dynasty, if we talk about Pala dynasty, they were followers of the Mahayana and Tantric schools of Buddhism. So Tantric school of Buddhism, one of the most important highlights of the Pala dynasty is that they were promoters of the Vajrayana form of Buddhism. Okay, and it was the founder of the Pala dynasty was Gopal, and he was not a proper king. He was more of an elected leader. He was more of an elected leader. Now, let's take a question which was asked in the year 1985. Like, for example, different eras have been given, and they have asked you to match these eras with list two. That is, when did this eras begin? And these eras, basically, These eras were started. All these eras were started when when a ruler came into power. Okay, all the eras, for example, Gupta era started. Okay, Gupta era was started when when Chandragupta the first. Okay, when Chandragupta the first came to power. Although he may not have been the founder of the Gupta dynasty, because there was a person by the name of Sri Gupta who is said to have been the proper founder. But but Chandragupta the first, but Sri Gupta, he was he was more of a he was more of a chief. He was more of a chief. So we largely consider Chandragupta the first to be the real founder of the Gupta Empire. So when Chandragupta the first came to power, he started his own era by the name of Gupta era. Saka era is generally attributed. Okay, Saka era is generally attributed to the coming of power, or it is generally attributed to the time when Kanishka came to power. So Saka era is related with uh, Kanishka. Okay, so see, Gupta era. So Saka era, Vikram era, Shaka era, Gupta era, Kali era. We all know. See, how can we derive the correct answer in this case? We all know it is very important for us to know that Gupta Empire, we can the Guptas came to power in the 4th century AD. The Guptas came to power in the 4th century AD. So one thing is for sure that as far as Gupta era is concerned, as far as C is concerned, C has to match with 2. C has to match with 2. Okay, because Gupta era started around 320 AD. So C has to match with 2. So, as far as C is concerned, it has to match with 2. Another thing, let's focus on Saka era. Saka era Saka era can be matched with 78 AD. 78 AD. See, it cannot be BC because Saka era, Kanishka, okay, Kanishka belongs to the AD period. He belonged to the 1st century AD. So, as far as Saka era and Gupta era are concerned, C has to be C has to go with 2, C has to go with 2, and B has to go with 3. So C2 and B3. C2 and B3. And C2 and B3, the only option, which has got C2 and B3, the only option which has got, and C, I mean option number D, okay? So what did I say? B, Saka era. Saka era has to be what? It is associated with Kanishka. So the correct answer in this case would be 78 AD. So let's check, B3. Okay, B3. B3. Here is B3. Okay, see, option number B, also matches 3 with B, and there is this option number D also, which again matches B with 3. So there are two such options which match B with 3. B with 3, and we had another C with 2. Okay, C with 2. That is equally important. C with 2. B with 3 and C with 2. Here also see option number B. Option number B also, B has been matched with 3. Okay, B has been matched with 3, and C has been matched with 2. B, option number B, as well as uh, you know uh, option number D, because 3 2, I mean, as you can see, 3 2 here also, 3 2, D, and B, 3 2 here also. That means we have to find out one more. Before we can give a proper answer. Now, Vikram era. Okay, Vikram era is again very important, and the correct option in this case, will be option number D. That is, if you look at option number D, it has got 4 3 2 1. Option number D has 4 3 2 1, which means Kali era 4, okay, 4 3 2 1. So A is 4. That is, Vikram era started around 58 BC. 4 3 2 1. Okay, 4 3 2 1. So Vikram era started around 58. Vikram era is said to have started around 58 BC. So A has to be 4. So A has to be 4. So A has to be 4. Then B2. See, option number C also, matches A with 4. But this cannot be taken into consideration because B and C are not right. So the correct option in this case would be, the correct answer in this case would be option number D, that is 4 3 2 1. 4, 3, 2, 1 means that A is 4, okay? A is 4, B is 4, 3, 2, 1. B is Saka era 78, then C is 2, and Kali era is 3102 BC. Okay, Kali Yuga 3102 BC. Now, the Badami Rock inscription, very, very important. The Badami Rock inscription of Pulakashin II is dated in the Saka year 465. If the same were to be dated in Vikram Samvat, the year would be, okay, the Badami Rock inscription of Pulakashin II is dated in the Saka year 465. If the same were to be dated in Vikram Samvat, the year would be, it was asked in 1997, and the answer in this case would be A, 601. Okay, 601. Now let's take the next. According to ancient Indian cosmogonic ideas, the sequential order of the cycle of four eons, yug. So basically, you have to arrange the yugs in a chronological order. Okay, you have to basically arrange the yugs in a chronological order. So I mean, most of you might be knowing already that the present, that the the present stage where we are in, or the present yug or eons, you can say, the present eon, the present eon that we are in is Kali Yuga. Okay, the present eon that we are in is Kali Yuga. Okay, now we have to arrange it. Okay, we have to arrange it in a chronological order. And the correct answer in this case is option number C. It is Kreta, Treta, Dwarpa, and Kali. Okay, Kreta, Treta, Dwarpa, and Kali. This is the correct order. ठीक है? Now explanation C. Time is a very important concept for many of the world religions, and for the Hindu tradition, the concept of time is explained through Yug. Okay, the first Yug is known as Krita Yug, and it composes the first four units. Basically, Krita Yug is also the Yug in which everything was picture, everything was picture perfect. And a similar concept can be found in Jainism also, just the words are different. And in Jainism, the time cycle has been divided into, I mean, Jainism believes in half cycles. Half cycles. Each time cycle has been further divided into two half cycles. Okay, Utsarpini and Avsarpini. So the time cycle, or the period we are living in now, the period, the period we are living in presently will be an example, or the period we are living in now at present is Avsarpini. Because I mean, Avsarpini is what? Avsarpini is a period of decline, and Utsarpini is a period of, uh, you can say, improvement. Is a period of improvement, or it's a period where everything is perfect. Okay, and after the end of every Avsarpini, okay, Avsarpini is being followed by Utsarpini, and again Utsarpini is being followed by Avsarpini. So it's a never ending cycle. Okay, I mean, it's like a wave. It keeps on coming each after, I mean, it keeps on coming again and again, again and again, one after another. See, the term Yavana Priya mentioned in ancient Sanskrit text denoted. The term Yavana Priya mentioned in ancient Sanskrit text denoted a fine variety of Indian muslin, ivory, damsels, Yavanapriya, ivory, or damsels sent to the Greek court for dance performance, or pepper. So the answer will be pepper. The word Yavanapriya has been used in ancient Sanskrit text for pepper. Okay. Now, in the context of the history of India, consider the following pairs. Okay. Eripati, Taniyurs, and Kathikas. Now, Eripati, land revenue from which, okay, land revenue from which was set apart for the maintenance of the village tank. Iripati, land revenue from which was set apart for the maintenance of the village tank. Taniyurs, villages donated to a single Brahmin or a group of Brahmins. Taniyur. And so basically, they are talking about Brahmadan. They are also known as Brahmadan, villages which were donated to the Brahmins. And Ghatikas, colleges generally attached to temples. And the correct answer in this case would be option number D. because only 1 and 3 are correct. Okay, Eripati means what? Land revenue from which was set apart for the maintenance of the village tank. Okay, Eripati and Ghatikas, colleges generally attached to temples. Okay, now with reference to the guilds of ancient India. Okay, with reference to guilds of ancient India that played a very important role in the country's economy. Which of the following statements are correct? Every guild was registered with the central authority of the state, and the king was the chief administrative authority on them. The wages, rules of work, standards, and prices were fixed by the guild, and the guild had judicial power over its own members. See, guild was a concept. It was a concept which was there, and one of the most important objectives of having a guild was what? Was to promote specialization of work. All the people who used to do the same economic activity, they used to reside in the same place. And over a period of time, that had emerged as a guild. So every guild was so in this case, all the three statements are correct. So the right answer would be D. D. And the origin of this guild, it can be traced back to the age of Mahajanapadas. That's when we get to hear of guilds in a more prominent way. Okay, we get to hear of guilds in a more prominent way, and Buddhism also plays a major role in the promotion of these guilds. So not only every guild was registered with the central authority of the state, and the king was the chief administrative authority, but the wages, rules of work, standards, and prices were also fixed by the guild, and the guild also had judicial power over its own members. Okay, now see which of the following pairs are correctly matched 1998. Lothal, ancient dockyard, Sarnath, first sermon of Buddha, Rajgir, lion capital of Ashoka, Nalanda, great seat of Buddhist learning. Okay, okay. So the correct option C. What is Lothal? Lothal is a part of Indus Valley civilization. Lothal is a part of what? Lothal is a part of Indus Valley civilization. And Lothal it was an ancient dockyard. It was an ancient dockyard. Why was it an ancient dockyard? Because we see that Lothal was located on the banks of a river by the name of Bhogavi. And so according to historians, Lothal is also known as the port city because we have also found an artificial dockyard. Okay, we have also found an artificial dockyard in Lothal, and Lothal is in modern day state of Gujarat, and it was a settlement. Okay, it was one of the settlements of IBC. Sarnath. Now, Sarnath is a very important place which has a direct association with the life of Buddha because Gautam Buddha is said to have delivered his first sermon at Sarnath, which is in Uttar Pradesh. Okay, today there was a deer park then also. Okay, it was a deer park where he delivered his sermon at Sarnath right after gaining enlightenment at Bodh Gaya. Then Nalanda, as we all know, great seat of Buddhist learning was uh, Nalanda. Okay, Rajgir, we all know the importance of Rajgir. Rajgir was a place, and Rajgir was the first capital of Magadh. And Rajgir was a highly fortified, it was a naturally fortified city because it was surrounded by hills. It was surrounded by hills from all its sides. So, but Rajgir was not the place which can be associated with lion capital of Ashoka. Lion capital of Ashoka. ठीक है sir? That cannot be associated. So the correct answer in this case would be C. That is 1, 2, and 4 are correct. So answer C is the right answer. See the explanation. The lion capital of Ashoka is a sculpture of four Asiatic lions standing back to back on an elaborate base that includes other animals. It was originally placed where? On the top of the Ashokan pillar at the important Buddhist site of Sarnath. Okay, it was originally placed. It was the lion capital. Okay, the lion capital which has been given in the option. If you look at this option, lion capital of Ashoka. What is the meaning of lion capital of Ashoka? Lion capital of Ashoka. Okay, the lion capital of Ashoka, it was a feature It was a feature of one of the Ashokan pillars. It was found on one of the Ashokan pillars. And where was this Ashokan pillar located? And where was this pillar found? So pillar, I mean, all this have to do with what? All this have to do with Ashoka's Dhamma, Ashokan pillar. Okay, and this pillar was originally located at Sarnath. Sarnath. Okay, Sarnath. The capital it is carved out of a single block of polished sandstone and was always a separate piece from the column itself. It features four Asiatic lions standing back to back. Okay. Now, what is the correct chronological order in which the following appeared in India? It's a very important question. What is the correct chronological order in which the following appeared in India? See, iron plough, gold coins, punch mark, silver coins. Punch mark silver coins can be attributed to the age of Mahajanapadas. Punch mark silver coins, we get to hear of punch mark silver coins for the first time during the age of Mahajanapadas. And age of Mahajanapadas began around 600 BC. Gold coins. Gold coins will come after punch mark silver coins because gold coins, Indo-Greeks are said to have introduced gold coins in India for the very first time, and Indo-Greeks are a part of post-Mauryan period, Indo-Greeks. Now, iron plough. Iron plough started somewhere around, iron plough started somewhere. See, iron plough. So, plough generally, plowshare, iron plowshare. So, here the meaning of iron plough is, see, I'm not saying that ploughs were already in use, but before 1000 BC, ploughs or plowshares were not made of iron, they were made of wood. So when did the use of iron plowshare start? The use of iron plowshare start. Okay. The use of when did the use of iron plowshare start? The use of iron plowshare started from around 1000 BC after iron was discovered around the same time. Iron is said to have discovered. Iron is said to have been discovered around 1000 BC. Okay, when places like Atranji Khera in Uttar Pradesh started showing signs of iron. Now, and then urban culture. So out of all these options, if we can arrange, if we have to arrange these things in a chronological order, okay, in the manner of their appearance, in the order of their appearance in India, then first will be urban center, because we get to hear of urban center during the time of IVC itself. So it has to come. So urban center has to come before everything else. Four, and after urban center will be three. So the correct answer, the correct order will be 4, 3, 2, 1. We just need to go in the reverse direction. Urban culture, IVC, iron plow, 1000 BC, that is later Vedic period. Okay, punch mark silver coins, that is what? That is age of Mahajanapadas, and gold coins, that is what? That is post-Mauryan period. So 4, 3, 2, 1. So the correct option in this case would be option D. Now, from the 3rd century AD, when the Hun invasion ended, okay, from the 3rd century AD, when the Hun invasion ended the Roman Empire, the Indian merchants relied more and more on the Okay, from the 3rd century AD, when the Hun invasion ended the Roman Empire, the Indian merchants relied more and more on the correct option would be Southeast Asian trade. See, the Hun invasion, before this, there was flourishing trade going on between the India and Roman Empire, which is known as, which is in history very famous as Indo-Roman trade. But then came a time when the Roman Empire started disintegrating, and by 475 AD, the disintegration process was complete. Now, Hun invasion was not the only reason. Okay, it was not the only reason for the disintegration or decline of Roman Empire. There were other reasons also. For example, the Roman Empire was invaded by Germanic tribes like the Goths. Now, that was one of the reasons. That was also one of the reasons. So when trade because of which, now that the Roman Empire itself has declined, has disintegrated, so trade also got affected. So India could no longer trade with the Roman Empire. Now Indians started trading, or see, already Indians were trading with Southeast Asia. Okay, India for the very first time, India started out reaching. Okay, India for the very first time, India started out or for the very first time, India started reaching out to Southeast Asia during the post-Mauryan period, when started, okay, India started contacting, or India started traveling to Southeast Asia, or contacts between Southeast Asia and India began during that period. And why did the contacts begin during that period? Because India started reaching out to Southeast Asia in order to get spices from Southeast Asia. And why India needed those spices? India needed those spices because India's domestic production of spices was not able to meet the excessive demand of spices coming from Europe. So, in order to meet the excessive demand of spices coming from Europe, India started reaching out to Southeast Asia so that it can meet. See, India also produced spices domestically, but its domestic production was not enough to meet the demand coming from Europe. So, in order to meet the demand, Indians started trading with the merchants of Southeast Asia, basically to procure spices. Okay. Now, okay. So with that, basically we have come to an end. Okay. With that, basically we have come to an end of this particular PDF of ancient India. In the next class, we shall start with medieval India. We'll try to solve some of the questions from medieval India which have been asked by UPSC in the past. Okay. Thank you so much. See you all in my next session.